Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's very glad to see some old friends sitting in the first three rows. I didn't know, sorry, I didn't mean to follow you. So, this morning, we had a group of about 20 officials from all over the world, different countries. They are all related to the tourism bureau in their country. They are in Taiwan for 2 weeks, right? About 2 weeks. So we spent 3 hours together. I had the chance to share with them my observation of Taiwanese tourism development and innovation. So I have to apologize that probably the majority of what I'm going to say in the next 20 minutes, you already heard it this morning. So it's a good time for you to go to the bathroom. And also, I didn't know I'd be facing such a international audience. So I prepared my presentation in Mandarin, but since all the panelists are speaking in English, so I think I'll switch my presentation to English then. I want to start with the innovation through an example of a very popular Taiwanese, like a pork rice. This is something Taiwanese people like to eat. This is a short story that happens almost 2 years ago. This shop, the Formosa Town, they decided to raise its price just roughly from probably $1.96 to 2.09. So a very small increase of the price. But it attracted a lot of attention. So there's a lot of criticism on the internet and on the media that how can you raise the price? So this is something that people eat every day. But honestly, this is already relatively expensive compared to other similar products because usually it sells for about $1 if you buy it on the average on the ordinary shop. So in 2-3 days, the chairman of the company came out at a press conference and decided to apologize to the public, and I don't really know why he has to apologize, and decided to decrease the price to the original level. So this prompts me to think, because one of the criticism was that they calculate the cost of the bowl of rice, the pork rice, and said, the cost is only this much, so you're really selling it too expensively. But the issue I'm thinking is, can we only decide the price or the value of a product only by its cost? So you think about what is the cost of a Starbucks coffee as opposed to a convenience store coffee. Starbucks coffee sells for 3 times the price, but people are getting in line just to buy a Starbucks coffee. Also for spaghetti or a pasta. As my job brings me to Italy very often lately, the cheapest plate of pasta I ate in Italy is around 12-13 euros. So if you look at the cost of a plate of pasta, it's really much lesser than that. So why did we hold our like the pork rice product into the only standard about on its cost? So we can think about what are some value-adding elements for our products. So no matter we're talking about the tourism industry of a country or a company thinking about adding value to its product, I think these 4 elements gives us a good idea about how we can raise the value and attractiveness of our product. Number 1 is branding. So I think Starbucks is very successful in its branding, so that people walk on the streets with a Starbucks coffee feels like they are related somewhat and expressing a kind of a cultural lifestyle, as opposed if you walk on the streets with a cup of coffee from the convenience store, it is only a cup of coffee. So it doesn't reveal your lifestyle at all. So I think branding is the number 1 issue. Branding, no matter for the country, for an industry, for your own business, how to create the value of your brand. I think that's the most important issue. And the second is the service quality and the service procedure. If you in the service industry, how can we renovate our service procedure? I think one of the most famous successful example in Taiwan is Wangping. they reinvented their service procedure and was widely accepted and had great success. I didn't have time to go into the details because we have 30 minutes to make the brief introduction. And the third and fourth elements is to create new value and create but not necessarily create stories, but to try to tell storytelling. Try to tell people the story behind the product. So I'll give you a few examples. Here is that this is the pork rice that I mentioned earlier. So every month we have this chef contest. So 1 month I gave our chef this topic, asking them to make different types of pork rice, so that we see if we can try to create added value to the same product. So I don't have time because to introduce the details about these different types of pork, rice pork. But as you can see, you can the way it is presented, the material it is used. There's really a lot of different ways that you can introduce a new value and life into a traditional pork rice. So we have all sorts of, this is even, we have hot and cold together to create the pork rice. So we have all types of, each of our different hotel use their imagination and created a new form of pork rice. I think this is something that we should continue to encourage ourselves to always challenge the traditional concept and see what we can add to the existing product. And I think not only for service industry, I think the high tech innovation is I meant to say high tech is innovation is not only limited to high tech industry, but also to traditional and also service industry. If you don't try to innovate, you're going to be out of date. So the little joke I'm making here is that I remember when iPhone 4 became iPhone 5, it was heavily criticized on the internet because people think that nothing changed. It became longer a little bit. From 4 rows, it became 5 rows. So the internet users, they make fun of it and said iPhone 6, 7, and 8 will become longer and longer. So it became kind of like the Star Wars sword. And also its other competitors, Samsung, the Note 2, Note 3, Note 4, and the main feature is that it became bigger and bigger. So in the end, it becomes a big shield. So this is the fight between Apple and Samsung is the fight between the sword and the shield. So, but not only the high-tech industry is facing this challenge of innovation, but I think for us, even in the traditional service industry, this is a challenge we have to bestow upon ourselves, to always challenge ourselves. What can be done? What other new things can be done? So I'm not going to take time to introduce my group. We are a group of 20 hotels with 14 in Taiwan, 1 in China, and 5 in Italy. We started the Italy endeavor about 3 years ago. And we have also 7 outside restaurants with about 8,000 seats. And this is our rough figure. We serve about 4.3 million in F&B and 1.6 million customers in rooms every year. And we host 1,600 weddings. When I introduced this to my Italian colleagues, they asked me, how many times do Taiwanese people get married? Because they feel like you host so many weddings. But I told them no, because in Italy, people don't used to get married in hotels. But in Taiwan, people like to get married in hotels. So I think for us, the direction of innovation is the following four directions. One is to go to be more data-oriented. I think because we're such a traditional service industry, there are so many data that is available that is not really properly utilized. A lot of our decision-making are more traditional and by instinct. So we need to transform ourselves and make decisions based on data. So not only the big data that we're talking about, that's the hot topic now, but just the data on your hand. We are a group that has operated for more than 30 years, close to 40 years. So there's a lot of customer data at hand that I felt we did not really fully utilize. So try to fully utilize data plus the catching up on the trend of big data. I think that is another main area of innovation that we have to force ourselves into. And secondly is technology. I think technology has enabled so many different things that we do not think are possible just a few years ago. So we are going to face I think all the taxis are facing the challenges of Uber, and we are going to face the challenge of Airbnb. And under these challenges, what can we do? And how can we combine ourselves with the new technology? So there's a lot of things going on. I think there are so many things all over the world that's happening. So we have to expose ourselves to the latest technology and think about how this technology can help us transform the way we think, the way we make decisions, the way we connect ourselves to the customers. And number three is internet. I think the power of internet is really amazing. Like Uber, Airbnb, I won't mention that. But just our humble experience in Italy, I felt in Rome. We just opened a hotel in Rome. We start receiving guests in July 24th, so it's roughly 3 months. I felt the big difference between the European market and the Asian market. For example, in Taiwan, if you have a good review, if you receive good reviews in TripAdvisor or Booking.com, of course, it's good for your business and good for your reputation, but it does not necessarily translate directly to your business. But in Europe, actually, in our experience in Italy, I cannot overemphasize the importance of internet reputation. Our hotel in Rome called Aroma Lifestyle Hotel. We started, I think, in July 24th, probably the last of all the hotels. There's 1,276 hotels in Rome. So I think we started the last place where we opened the hotel on July 24th. But at the beginning, we sell only 50 rooms per day. We have 276 rooms. So with the number of staff we have, I think we gave the guests a unforgettable experience and memory, because at that time the ratio between the staff and the customer is really overstaffed. So, but we knew that's going to happen. So, and that's also our plan and our goal. So we pampered our guests, make them feel like kings and queens when they check in, and we got such good reviews. In 2 weeks, in TripAdvisor, we are number 11 in Rome. So, and that translates to direct booking. So we are able to raise our price, and we are able to enjoy a more than 80% occupancy in the first month. So I think that is something that we never imagined could have happened in our experience in Taiwan. So I feel like the power and influence of internet is really so big, and it's also bigger in Europe in our experience than in Taiwan. So we have to force ourselves to think about how we can connect with our customer more and get their feedback more, and try to stay in tune with our customers through the internet. And number four is internationalization. So these four are really, for us, the four pillars for our continuous innovation. So this is also what we try to do, but I'm sorry, this is the most detailed, the extent of the most detail I can tell you, because some of the things are things that we are still trying, and some of the things is really our inner operational experience. So okay, these are some of the examples of some of the innovation we did in Taiwan. This is one of the wedding house, not a restaurant, wedding house we built in Taipei, in New Taipei City, half an hour from here. So it is a big venue with 190 those big round tables for 10. We can have about 2,000 people at the same time. But the most important thing is that we have a 10-meter height floor, and it is surrounded by LED 360 degrees. So you can basically design the different types of atmosphere you want to have for your wedding. So imagine this is the wedding you can have with the atmosphere you choose. Now we already have 6 different types of topics for a guest to choose from. And when the wedding is almost done, you don't have to tell people to leave. Put the fireworks on, and people know it's time to go. Okay, I don't have time to show you the videos. We built this buffet restaurant, the biggest in northern Taiwan, 600 seats, 20 open kitchen. You can see the chef cooking right in front of you. All sorts of international cuisines, open kitchen. And this is I'll focus, I have only 5 minutes left. I'll focus my final experience sharing with our Italian experience. This is two of our first hotels there. We bought the 2 hotels in operation, 2 small ones, just to learn the culture and the regulations, to know the market there. This is with Santuficio. We produce our own wine and grape. And also Villa Montesolari, we produce our own olive oil. This is a cooking kitchen, a cooking classroom. So we have our own olive oil. And this is our villa in Florence. And this is our hotel in Rome. We position ourselves as a bridge between the East and West. So this is, we call a cocoon, we call it the Silk Road, representing the position we give ourselves. We hope we can be the bridge, a platform between the East and West. This is how our customers look like. So, no, this is the model. Our outdoor swimming pool, our lobby. We also bring the open kitchen buffet idea into Italy. 2 out of 3 Italians tell us not to do that. They say Italian people are very traditional. They do not like to eat international food. Even people in the Umbria province, they only eat Umbria food. They do not eat food from other provinces. So we are duly warned. But we decided to take a challenge to this advice, and but in the end, it proved to be a success. So this is our indoor spa, a relaxed area. This is what I call the washing machine. The car washing machine. Like you go hot, cold, hot, cold. I didn't know. I never saw this before in the spa, but obviously the guests like it. So I'll finish my presentation with a video. This is our opening ceremony video, a 5-minute. We had the opening ceremony in October 15th. So we have 1,200 guests coming. The Prime Minister agreed to come, but that day he has to go to Brussels to a summit meeting. So we have 12 senators that attended the meeting, our big ballroom. This is our owner in the middle.
Benvenuti, signore and signori.
We all have to learn Italian, but I think Google Translate is better.
Let me proudly
And we also ask our staff to do the ribbon cutting. This is probably a first. The owner, including me, we are all downstairs watching. But our Italian staff did the ribbon cutting.
Nelson, why did you come to Italy? I thought the answer was very obvious. But nonetheless, I need to explain. Because 50 years ago, almost 50 years ago, not quite 50 years ago yet, I came to Italy.
See the big LED screen? That's also the best resolution screen that is now commercially used in the world. So even if you are very close, it does not blur. It's still very clear.
Most of all,
so
warm friendship.
When people in Taiwan speak, we use the Taiwan 101. And here is the chairman of the Congress relationship with Taiwan. So he's the chairman. There's 100 senators, the friendship group with Taiwan. He's a very important senator, Senator Malan.
As an example of the relations between Italy and Taiwan of the entrepreneurship, the courage, and the ability to work of the Taiwanese people. How?
This is our Italian general manager. He's speaking Taiwanese, Mandarin.
我嘛，大方言。
Actually, I understand nothing he said. Just kidding. In LDC, we see ourselves not only as a hotel, but actually we see ourselves as a platform that bridges cultural exchange between the East and the West. In 1266, Marco Polo went to China, and I'm really glad to announce that in 2015, LDC is back in Rome. Huge screen. Just this part can be open, and the elevator is behind, and the car can come out from the elevator. Then we follow with the Italian a cappella. But there is no instruments. Everything comes from your mouth. So, amazing. And then we have a Taiwanese artist do the sand drawing. It talks about the story of the East and the West, the Silk Road. We start with the hotel, and this is Dunhuang, the beginning of the Silk Road in the East. You should watch the 7-minute complete version. It's amazing how he draw this sand painting. This is the world map from the east to the west. We're going back to Italy. And all the Italian guests start clapping when it comes to here. This is the Colosseum. And we end this with a lion drawing, because later we fly a group of 16 lion dancers to Rome. So after this set drawing, the lion dancers came out. The dance on the pillars. This is not that easy. This takes long-term training, so, and quite dangerous also. Okay, I think I have exceeded my time limit. I will stop here with my presentation. So if there are other further questions, I will answer the further questions during the discussion time. Thank you so much.